What's good, people? It's your boy, Anime Analyst, aka the Young Jiggy Ninja, and today we're going to be talking about how going to Ryuchi Cave will change Boruto. So if you've been following the current arc going on in Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, you know that Mitsuki has ran away from the village, and Team 7, Boruto and Sarada, minus Mitsuki, of course, is trying to decode a message that Mitsuki left within one of his snakes in order to find out where he's actually at. So during this process, they go over to Orochimaru because that's his quote-unquote dad. Orochimaru tells him he can't find any information from the snake, but he knows someone who can see inside the snake's mind. Orochimaru tells them about the white snake sage that, as you all know, resides in Ryuchi Cave, and this being can see the snake's thoughts because he is the leader of all snakes. So he mentions how the sage is no ordinary man. He says he's quite an eccentric, and it's like, for Orochimaru to say someone's quite an eccentric and that he's not ordinary, bro, like, who do you think you are to be able to say that someone's not ordinary?
Don't even say nothing to me!
But Orochimaru tells them that Ryuchi Cave lies in the darkest and farthest reaches of the night, and only those seeking it can reach it. He then mentions how he wonders if they'll be able to return alive. So, of course, this is going to be a dangerous pursuit. The Ryuchi Cave probably has a whole bunch of crazy powerful snakes, and just the journey into the darkness is probably going to be, I don't really know how it's going to be, considering that it's kind of vague. Like, do you just keep running into darkness until you like magically like appear? Like, I don't understand, but I feel like they're gonna keep running until they like approach nighttime, and then like, since they want to get to the cave so badly, like they're just gonna run into it. But I'm super excited to see Ryuchi Cave expanded on in the Boruto series. I'm a big Naruto lore specialist, so I'm always a proponent for having an expansion on lightly covered parts of the universe, because when the Ryuchi Cave was mentioned in Shippuden, we didn't really get too much information, but it was very intriguing, and I was like, hey, I want to know more. Like, I want to know what Kabuto did while he was there, because Kabuto was the one who mentioned it. And now in the Boruto series, as they've done with other topics too, they're expanding. So for that, I love the Boruto series. A lot of people might not really see the importance, but when you love the lore of Naruto, Boruto having expansion, it's a great thing, my guy. So let's go into that discussion on how going to Ryuchi Cave will change Boruto. Alright, so with Boruto going to this location, here's some things we can possibly expect from this visit. And it'll be the second of the 3 big unexplored sage regions that we actually got to see a semi-tour of, because we've only seen 2 of the, well, we're going to in the future. Once we see Ryuchi Cave, we're gonna have seen 2 of the big unexplored sage regions. So we get to understand the white snake sage in terms of his personality and lore. That's another possibility when we go there. Well, it's not really a possibility, it's just factual, because Boruto and Sarada are going to be interacting with the white snake sage in terms of his personality. We're gonna see that because they're talking to him, and he might go into kind of the past and the history within Ryuchi Cave, and how he's gonna say, oh, you guys are the first people to be here in however much time. And also, I just thought of this right now, actually. What if we see the white snake sage bring up Sarada's father in terms of recognizing like her chakra signature, or just recognizing that she's an Uchiha, and he knows that Sasuke Uchiha has really dealt with the snakes. And what if he's like, hey Sarada, your father faded my boy Manda. Like, Manda was one of the, I think he was the biggest snake that existed in the Naruto universe until Kabuto like cloned him. But White Snake Sage might want some smoke with the Uchiha clan, or he might just say, that's your father, I'm gonna separate you from that. But he could be like, yo, I want smoke. Took out my man's Manda. What's up, Sarada? What's good with your dad? But that's one little part that I just thought of. But possibly we could see some more callbacks to Jugo's clan, considering Orochimaru said he discovered the origin of Jugo's clan's abilities at Ryuchi Cave. So we might hear the White Snake Sage talk about Jugo's clan or something like that, or there could be something in the area that basically brings up Jugo's clan. So I'm excited to hear that, because that's one of the other interesting parts in Shippuden that I wanted expanded on, like more about Jugo's clan. They were not really detailed at all other than their abilities and that Jugo was the only member. So it'll be funny if the sage brings up Kabuto as well, because we know Kabuto came to train under him, and maybe he'll give his thoughts regarding Kabuto and ask them if they know Kabuto or something like that. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting how all these characters tie together around Ryuchi Cave. So this mini arc could also introduce Boruto to the concept of Sage Mode, and it'll be interesting to see how Boruto reacts to this knowledge, considering that we haven't really seen any major sage antics go on in the Boruto series other than Mitsuki in his Sage Mode. But in regards to Boruto, it hasn't really been thrown upon him yet. So that'll be interesting to see if the sage starts talking about Sage Mode, how Boruto will react to the knowledge. Also, here are some sketches of Ryuchi Cave that have been put out. It shows I guess what the area is going to look like when we actually see it. These are just sketches, so I mean, take it with a grain of salt. It could look different when we actually see it, the animation, but these are some sketches. Also, in terms of Boruto changing from this visit, perspective is always going to be a factor when characters are visiting new places and meeting new people. Perspective is always good for characters across their development, and I feel that through interaction with the sage, Boruto will actually gain some perspective on the shinobi world around him, because of just the wisdom that sages have in this series. When Naruto went and spoke with the Toad Sage, that man was telling him all this stuff because he's been around for a long time. Like, so the Snake Sage, I'm pretty sure this man been around for a long time. I mean, that man is huge too. Like, it's a huge snake. Like, the snake is ginormous compared to like humans. But I just think it'll be cool, Boruto, the young Boruto, just being taught some stuff by the Snake Sage. Lastly, I want to say that it could be a possible scenario where Boruto becomes acquainted with the Snake Sage, and he becomes basically friends with the White Snake Sage as well. So you know how they love to have Boruto and Naruto like changing people and friendship no jutsu, and you know how they be doing it. So it would be no surprise to me if at the end of his visit, the White Snake Sage actually likes Boruto. It's like, hey man, if you ever come back through, you know I got some Senjutsu lessons for you. You know I got some Sage Mode lessons. You just know I got you, bro. I got you. And then, I mean, that'll just be a funny situation, because the way Orochimaru described the White Snake Sage, it makes it seem like he's some weird dude. So I'm definitely anticipating seeing how Boruto reacts to this, because you know how Boruto is. When he sees some weird shit, Boruto is like, calls it out, and he probably looking at Sarada like, yo, this dude crazy. So I mean, it'll be interesting. And that's really all I have in terms of how I think the Ryuchi Cave visit will change Boruto. Also, I want to say that in the anime, they're definitely taking different routes from the manga, because what happened when they visited Orochimaru's hideout, Boruto and Sarada found out that Mitsuki was an experiment from Orochimaru, and that he's basically like a clone, and he has a whole bunch of clones. So in the manga, they didn't find that out until like it was recently in this arc called the Kata arc. So in the anime, yo, they just threw that information out there like, yo, this is what's up. But I just found that interesting how they're kind of like really changing the anime path. I mean, I knew they'd do this, but they said, yeah, we doing this. Like, we ain't doing this, we doing this. So that had me laughing. But thanks for watching, guys. Tell me what you think from the visit will change Boruto. How will Ryuchi Cave change Boruto and the Boruto series? I definitely am waiting for this episode to come out. The next one that comes out is has them fighting the Inoshika Cho combo team. So I mean, I really don't care for that. I'll just wait for them to get to the cave. Like, they could, for real, like, decent on that episode where they're fighting Inoshika Cho. We already saw enough of that during that little Cho arc, but that's just me. Of course, like I said before, tell me what you guys think on the Ryuchi Cave visit. It's your boy, Anime Analyst, Young Cheeky Ninja. We out of here. Peace. Subscribe. Gotta subscribe. Like the video as well. Comment. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.